everybody, and welcome to the Quilter's Apothecary. Today we're doing a tutorial on my oldest design, which is the basic swirl. So let's head over to the drawing board, and we're first going to attack the edge-to-edge version. Before we go directly into what to do with the basic swirl, what I want to go into is what we don't want to do. One of the things I don't want us to do is to use the 6 shape. What I actually want to use instead of this 6 with the outer back that rounds around is a question mark shape that comes out straight and then swoops down. So you think of a top of a ski slope that comes down and around into your swirl. The old school swirls that we used to do years and years ago were the 6 shapes, and the problem that I had with these when we did these is you always ended up, as you did them, with all of this open space that wasn't consistently filled. So again, we want to go with the hook shape, which is the top of the ski slope that comes down into the hook, not a 6. Now we have the hook shape out of the way. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to practice the motif in every single direction, i.e. the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. You always want to do that before you take it into an edge-to-edge, so that way when you get to the edge-to-edge, not all your swirls and hooks are going to be facing the same way. So the very first one you're going to practice, and you might practice a page or two, is swirl up. Starting from the left side, we came down, we swirled up into the eye. Let's talk about the hook for just a second here. When I come in here, I consider this the eye of the hook. I then consider this the back of the head of the hook. This would be the top of the head of the hook. This would be the tail of the hook. So we've got our swirl and hook into the eye. On the inside of the hook, we're just going to echo the inside and up the tail towards the back of the tail, which is where we came from, back here. And then you're going to echo that. So you're going to come down and then start around. Think of a seagull, a cartoon seagull, on your way around. So this shape right here, this is where we started, is exactly what you're going to do, and you're going to repeat many rows. So you would do a lot of rows of swirl, echo, come down, start around. And you just complete this until it builds in your muscle memory, probably about 2 or 3 rows. Once you get that down on paper, you're then going to come from the right side. You're going to flip it. So you're going to start at the right, and it's the same shape. You go into your hook shape, echo up the tail, echo the tail, and then start around. And that's where you stop. Don't connect these as you practice them on paper. Right now you're just getting a feel of the hook and the echo, the motif itself. This is the motif. And the rest of the design is going to be all echoing. So this is number 1, this is number 2, and now we'll do the other directions that you're going to practice on paper. So now our third direction would be, we start on the left again, and when we come up, we actually come up. So the belly of the hook that goes down. So the scoop is down on the next 2. Start from the left side, come over into that question mark shape that swirls down. Now you're going to echo the inside and the tail, and then second echo and third echo, and stop. And you're going to practice a few rows of these. And then you're going to move to the last direction you're going to practice, and that's going to be starting from the right, and you're going to come over. But again, remember, you've got your question mark shape on its belly with the hook facing down. So if water filled this hook shape, it'd go on the inside rather than how we did it earlier. We're going to echo back up the tail, echo once, echo twice. So that's all 4 directions. And fill up a few pages. Fill up half a page just practicing this over and over and over and over until it feels comfortable. And then this, and then the other 2 directions. And when that feels comfortable, we move to the next step. Now let's take those 4 shapes and see how this travels as an edge-to-edge. Now normally when I work with an edge-to-edge, I usually start in the upper left-hand corner of my quilt or paper, if I'm practicing on paper. I start with my first hook shape. I echo up the tail, echo down the spike, and then around, and I just continuing echoing until I hit another swirl shape. I echo back up the tail on that hook, and now as I echo that into the previous hooked echo. And I just continue around this whole shape. And as I work, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to fill in this space. When I work with edge to edge type designs, what I like to do is to keep from moving in rows. I will tend to work on the diagonal. So I'll fill out and then I'll work my way around and then I'll move across with diagonals. That way when you remove the quilt from the frame, you can't see the rows. They're not obvious. So I'm going to come down, echo, another swirl, and they don't all have to be the same size. And I'm going to echo that into what I already have. And whenever you want, you break away with another hook shape. Now, here's the key. The hook always lays against the echo that you have. And notice how much echoing I have. I actually have more echoing in this design than I actually have swirls and hooks. So now I'm going to lay that in and swirl away from my existing design. You always know you're doing it right if you do that. You never want to do your hook shape towards the design because then you're trapped. So now I'm going to echo down the tail, and now I'm going to echo this into what's already there. And fill up pages and pages, however many pages it takes. This is why we sit in front of the TV and quilt on paper, because we won't take the time to do this on machines, which is why typically we end up doing the same designs we've always done. And now we're going to take this over to the machine to see how it quilts out. Okay, so now we are at the fabric and we're going to start our basic swirl edge to edge. So down here we have locked the edge of our fabric. I have locked my stitches. I'm in the upper left hand corner, which is where I would start with an edge to edge. And what I'm going to do is just like on the paper, I'm going to come down with my first hook shape, backtrack up, and continue on and repeat that same process that we did on the paper. Swirl. We're going to echo up the tail. Spike echo, echo around. I'm going to continue echoing until I feel like I want to throw in another hook. I'm going to echo up the tail. I always echo up the tail, and that's going to close in all of that space. Now I'm going to echo those because it's just like you're adding grapes to the bunch. And you just keep echoing it all together, and it will make it very cohesive, and it's going to flow. Swirl. Echo up the tail. I'm going to go right into that spot. I'm just going to fill that in so I don't have to come back there. Echo, echo, echo that. And I'm going to echo that into the previous. And normally when I come off to do a hook shape, I'm going to come out of a cleavage. I always swirl away from my previous work. So you swirl out into space and then you can fill in. Otherwise, if you hook towards your work, you're going to be trapped. Going to continue on. Hook. Echo. Fill in that tight space. And we're going to do this all the way across the throat space of our machine. Swirl, echo up the tail, echo the tail, echo the swirl, and then echo that into what I already have there.